What's up, ladies and gents? This is Casey Kid coming at you with another YouTube video. That's right, it's not Destiny today. We're talking about YouTube. We're talking about our channels and MCNs, or multi-channel networks in particular. I want to go ahead and give some of my thoughts on these, and if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and smack that like button and subscribe to the channel. Now again, these are my thoughts and opinions on MCNs. You might agree with them, you might disagree, or you might have no idea. But I do know that there are a lot of smaller YouTube channels that come here and we hang out and we talk to each other. So it's good to really get some information out there and explain some of my experiences. Because yes, I was a member of a MCN somewhere around the first few months that I was a part of YouTube. And these multi-channel networks are basically a collection of all our different small channels to make this huge network that has hundreds of thousands to millions of different users and active users. And what they say is they will generate revenue on your behalf. They'll sell ads for your channel. You have access to some of their creative individuals. If you want artwork done, or logos, or 3D graphics, you can use their royalty-free sounds, all kinds of things like that. They've got navigation APIs, they have forums, and they say they're generally going to help promote your channel to grow. And that sounded great. All of that sounded great. Not to mention the fact that if you're in gaming, you probably see that some of your favorite gaming YouTubers are parts of networks. And so to me, as a new YouTuber, I thought that that was generally what I was supposed to be doing. I thought that that was almost like a status symbol, mentioning that my channel is growing and this is how to grow, and this shows that yes, I'm a legitimate channel and this is how I want to be. But once I was actually a part of the network, it really wasn't all that I was looking for or wanted. For instance, as far as talking about the revenue and the ad revenue, if you're just a part of YouTube's partner program, you make pretty much 65% of the ad revenue that gets generated off of your videos. So you get 65% and YouTube gets the rest. When you're a part of a network, typically they start you off at 60%. Now that's 60% of the revenue that you end up taking home, so after YouTube's cut. So you're pretty much getting half of the revenue that you generate. So it's just really something to keep in mind. Obviously they make promises of generating up to 110% or 100% of the revenue that you actually generate on the site, but that's not going to happen for small channels. It's simply not. And you have zero pull to change that. You have no pull. So pretty much you're going to be sitting at making half of what you actually generate on your content. And that might be something that really bugs you. Or you could think of it that you're paying half of your revenue as a service for the MCN just to be there and be a part of the rest of it. And it's up to you to decide if that's worth your while or not. If you love the interface and analytics that the MCN is giving you, you really like the forums and you're able to find all kind of individuals to help out your channel from there, then it's really probably not that significant of a cost to you. But if not, then it actually might be. And it might be something that you think, just really isn't what you actually want to be using. Also, you have to keep in mind that there are networks out there that sign you into contracts for multiple years. Now that was the very first thing that I was actually looking at for the networks, because it was brand new to me. There was no way in the world I was joining any network that was going to make me sign into a contract for even a year. I just didn't want to do that. I didn't know what they were all about enough. So what I wanted to do was to make sure I found a network that said that they had no lock-in contract. But even in that case, they still end up holding your channel for 30 days even after you quit. Because again, they are making revenue off of your channel. That's why they exist. They have a whole bunch of different channels out there and they make that money off of the top of what you're making by aggregating that, and they basically are indicating that they're giving a service to you for that money. So they don't want to let go of the channels, and that's why they let a whole lot of different individuals in. Like I said, my channel was a part of a network when it was significantly smaller, and it wasn't because they saw promise in my channel. It was because I had potential to generate some revenue for them. Even if it wasn't a lot, you don't make a lot of ad revenue anyway. But you can see that whenever you make a little bit of something, if you've got a whole lot of that, it equates to a whole lot of money in the end. So that's how those MCNs end up making money. Now moving away from money, the big draw of the MCNs is the promise that they can help you to grow. And honestly, Whenever you become a part of a network and you go to their forum, you're going to see you and hundreds of thousands of other small channels that are trying to grow just like you. There is nobody that's sitting at the top and that's going to hold your hand and pull you along and promote your channel and do all these nice things out of the kindness of their heart, because everybody is putting in hard work on their channels and everybody is trying to grow. So whenever I was on the forums trying to put up my videos and interact with people, it was like people clawing over top of each other to get views. The topics were just flying through there. There was no bumping of posts or anything like that. It was really, really rough. And after just a couple months, I realized that I was not getting any sort of promotion or anything like that. I wasn't gaining anything from being there. In fact, what was better was whenever I started reaching out on Twitter a lot more. Reaching out on Twitter, talking to people, going to Twitch, going to other YouTube channels, and networking organically like that. Because if you show some interest in things that other people are doing, and you're doing something similar, there's a chance that they too might turn back around and show some interest in you. And honestly, I think that was a much better way to go about doing things than on the MCN forums, where it was a lot of sub for sub type things. And whenever you do that, yes, your sub count will go up, but people won't actually be viewing your videos or engaged in your videos or anything like that. So it's really not something that I would recommend. Honestly, I didn't really enjoy being a part of the MCN. Now, I think that there's going to be a lot of people that say, well, it's whatever you make of it. And yes, I agree with that. But whenever I got away from the network and I just focused on doing all things on my own, again, my ad revenue pretty much quadrupled because I was, getting more viewers and I wasn't having, money taken off the top from me. And I was also interacting with more people who were interested in my Destiny channel. I was creating new content that was working well for me, and everything just seemed to fall into place much better. I don't have anybody over top of me anymore. It's just me partnered with YouTube. And the YouTube partnership program is pretty good. You've got your revenue sharing, they sell ads for you. You do your own SEO work and stuff, but you're doing that anyway whenever you're a part of a network. It's not like they're giving you anything. They're not telling you taglines or title lines or anything like that on your YouTube channel. They're not promoting it anywhere different than you could. You could take your video to forums, you could post it out on Twitter, you could go around to wherever you needed to, whether it be Reddit or StumbleUpon or whatever it is. You can get your videos out there, you can network, you can generate your own revenue with YouTube. You can do everything that you need to do on your own. It just takes a little bit of work. But if you're a part of an MCN, you're going to have to do that work anyway, because they are not going to do it for you. And that's just something that I didn't know. I didn't know at the time. I thought that there was going to be a little bit more of a mentorship or something like that, but it's not, because it's a whole bunch of other smaller channels like myself trying to grow. So while I do receive a number of emails or tweets about joining a new network, it's just really not for me. It's not for me for all of the reasons that I mentioned, and probably more. But if you potentially want to join a network, that's up to you. You have to decide for yourself if that's something that's worth your while. Just be very careful about the contracts that you have to sign, because they are legitimate contracts, and you don't want to potentially lock yourself into something that you might or might not like. Just something to keep in mind, because they are legitimate. Anyway, guys and gals, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, smack that like button. Subscribe to the channel to keep updated on daily YouTube content. Check out these awesome videos, and I'll see you around in YouTube. MC Hammer Time.